Hi sir, this is Trinath from MME, bearing ID number N171142. I am ready to present my mid-examination 2 video assignment. So I am going with first question. Here question about an instructor has to grade 50 exams. Time required an independent mean with 30, a standard deviation with value 3. Now find probability that instructor will grade at least 36 of the exams in 640 minutes of work. It was the question given, and I assumed let y is equal to x1, x2, x3 up to x50 because they are correcting 50 papers, right? So x1 considered as time required to correct the or grade the first examination. So actually for every question solving time, I have a estimation how was the probability. We always know that probability lies between 0 and 1, right? So here mean is given 30. So for correcting one question paper it takes 30 minutes, like that for 50 into 30 for grading 50 exams, around we need 1500 minutes, but here asked for 36 questions, 36 into, so this one 1080 minutes will be taken for, but they are asking for 640 minutes of work, but if you observe it's very much impossible. So that is the first estimation to solve the sum as per my view. Now uh, now for any large distribution it followed normal distribution properties with they are given the mean time 30 and variance 9. That means standard deviation is equal to 3, right? So for normal distribution concept, we have the estimation like this: y approximates to n mu sigma square, y minus mu by sigma we generally consider it as z, approximates to normal 0 comma 1. Here for large numbers it's converts into normal distribution, right? So it the evaluation may for any kind of distribution, but while it coming to the large number it converts to the normal distribution. So n normal n mu minus n sigma square. Here n is 36 papers, right? So consider n as 36 and mean time is equal to 30 and sigma square is equal to 9. Probability y is less than 640 because we want to correct 640 papers, right? Less than 640. So probability that y minus 36 into 30 by 3 is less than 640 minus 1080 by 30 minus 36. It's in the form of y minus mu by sigma. So probability z less than, for with the small math calculation, probability z less than or equal to something got minus 4.704. 5 of these value we can obtain it from something called normal table, but we are unable to get this value, so I have obtained the last value, that is 0.998. So the probability estimation is 0.0002, which is not possible, which is, that means correcting the 36 exams, so grading the 36 exams 640 minutes have very low probability. So I have concluded the sum like this. See here also I have given probability is 0.002, that means very low probability to grade 36 mark sheets in 640 minutes. And next, and second question, create the question on central limit theorem and answer in few steps. So I have chosen one question: if 20 dice is thrown, find the probability that sum between them is 30 and 40. I have also solved this based on central limit theorem only. Actually throwing 20 fair die can obtain any kind of results, and their summation also between anything, but as per my pre first first estimation, it can be either when we roll a dice, 6 outcomes may be come. For 20 days, if you assume, let assume that only 111 is fell for 20 times, so the summation is 20. So if you take 2 like that, the estimation may 40. So sorry, 2 like that. So getting between 30 and 40 is very difficult, so we may get large numbers and the summation may also be large. So what I have done here is first taking mean and variance of throwing a fair die. As we also know, the following distribution is binomial, but as we are considering for very large number, it tends to be a normal distribution. This is a weak law of large numbers. So n mu and n sigma square I have considered those values, and I want the probability estimation between the summation I have considered, right, 29.5 and 40.5. I have do some calculation about that, and really I got 1 minus 5 minus 4.55. This is minus 4.45. Also from normal table I have considered the last value, and this for getting the chance also, as my first estimation is right. So getting between 30 and 40 when we threw a 20 fair days is becoming very difficult. So this is my second sum conclusion. And sir, I have chosen one problem to solve with probability inequalities, and I will read the sum. X be number of screws delivered, mu is equal to 100 and sigma is equal to 25, sigma square is equal to 25. uh, Actually the C problem comes about using the Chebyshev inequality, and first one is how many sigma units right to 1009 from mean we know that, right. Mean mu is equal to 1000. From 1000 they're estimating for right. For k value x minus mu by sigma. Also x is what we are considering in the question. 1009 minus 1000 by 5 is equal to 1.8 something value. Okay, then second question for x value 2.6 units to the left. 1000 is the middle value or the mean value. For left consideration, 1000 minus 26.2.6 into 5. 5 is the standard deviation. So I got the x value something. And while coming about the C using Chebyshev inequality and its importance, I will tell you. Interval is symmetric about mu is equal to 1000, that we already known. K is equal to 1006 minus 1000 by 5, that is in the same format, x minus mu by sigma. X is the value we have to do here, probability 994, x less than 994 1006. I have considering 1006 minus 1000 by 5 is equal to something value I got k, and the other one I have took probability 1000 minus 1.2 into 5 less than x. I'm using the Chebyshev inequality principle here, and next one 1000 plus 1.25 into 5 is greater than or equal to 1 minus 1 by k square. K square we have already taken. Probability between 994 and 1006. So we are trying here to say about the defective screws. How was the probability of defective screws? So to find between 994 and 1006 is 0.3. We already know the probability lies between what and what, 0 and 1. So 0.3 is getting the probability, that is almost similar to this one. This is and this is same, so I wrote my again here. We just got a boundary estimation by calculating the Chebyshev inequality. We just got on that boundary how many defectives can be given or issue. The importance of Markov-Kerr Chebyshev inequalities is enable us to derive bounds probability when only the mean and variance are known. The importance of Markov-Kerr or Chebyshev, when we have a boundary, when we want a probability between the boundaries, we can use these inequalities. Sir, another interesting question, sir. I write a topic name we have learned well and felt the most difficult in the course. Probably in mid 2 I like the skewness and kurtosis topic. It's very good estimating the probability distribution on the graphical of a outcome of a random variable. It's very good one. I felt this topic most interesting. Why? Because so I said that, right. And while coming to the most difficult part, the moment generating functions, the probability generating functions, I felt it most difficult, sir, because I didn't practice about it. That's my totally my mistake. And he also said that to prepare a kind of table, and I if I have made that, that could be very easy for me, but I realized my mistakes. I have taken one question about calculating the Carl Pearson's skewness. This is one question: income of family in thousands, number of families, the number of families taken 5 to 10, 10 to 15 families. Okay, 10 to 15 thousands, 15 to 20,000, 20 to 25 thousands, 25 to 30 thousands. All this I haven't taken. There are 45 families in 5 to 10. Generally, we can see in the outside also. Less people, other more people, more people earning less money, right? So I have also, by taking these two values, just these two values, and I have, this is, we know this is the mode class whole from this. I estimated the mean between these two. So I have given the mean values with these boundaries, and we have something assumed mean. So 22.5 in the middle I have considered as a assumed mean. This xi, this is a xi minus a gives the di values, and I have also obtained the di values. I have calculated it, and fi di, the frequency, and the di values, multiplication of values, I got it. I wrote the summation here and here also. For calculating the Carl Pearson skewness, I have the formula mean minus mode by standard deviation. Mean is equal to a plus f, sigma fi dA by sigma f into h. This is the standard formula that we already know. Assumed mean is something I have chosen this, and minus 665 obtained here. 158 frequency. This is 158 into 5. 5 means h, class width. How much class? 5 to 10, 5 members, like 5,000s. I have got the mean value, and remaining I have to calculate the mode and standard deviation. Mode also we have the formula f L plus f minus f naught by 2f minus f naught minus f1 into h. I have obtained the values from the table right here. I didn't have the f naught value. F naught is equal to 0. F1. I took these values and calculated about 8.51. This is the mode, and standard. While coming to the standard deviation, root over sigma f di square and sigma f minus f di by sigma f whole square into h. I have made a separate table for these values: di square, fi di square, and frequency, and I have calculated whole, and I got the standard deviation as 4.45.61. Mean minus mode by sigma. I have all those values and substituted with little calculation. I have got minus 0.15. Minus indicates here negative skewness. So if you take the normal graph, bell shaped like this, we have graph. If you push from this side, the graph will come like this. This is indicates the negative skewness. This is a negative skewness. I got something estimation. This is the estimation graph, not the exact one. We also know Carl Pearson skewness. It can be range between minus 3 to positive 3. So the answer got is minus 0.15. So it is the negative skewed graph, not the more negative, but 0.15 is the somewhat negative skewed graph. Okay, thank you, sir. As you said, I am unable to show my face. I will try to make another video and also upload that, sir. Please forgive for that mistake, sir. Thank you.